the 49er future is sitting here center stage because we're talking about it. I mean, if I asked you, okay, hot shot, 3 years from now, take all three of the big three teams, and who are you going to argue has got the best shot to compete?
Over the next 3 years?
No, in 3 years.
Oh, 3 years from now.
3 years from now, Niners, Warriors, or Giants, go.
I would say the Giants. I put the Giants 1, the Niners 2. Yeah. The Giants have
That's a convenient take.
Not really.
I don't think you believe that at all.
Absolutely. I'm a Giants fan. And
it's not about being a fan.
I'm a Giants fan.
Thank you, Grandy. The Warriors, I already said, it's like Saran, it's a wrap. And I think with or without you, Steph, shout out you too, I don't think that you are in a window. I don't think that you can get good enough within the next 3 years. So 3 years from now, Steph will be 39. Am I right? And he'll be either still here or in the last breath of his last contract, Draymond's last year, and Kuminga at 25. I don't think that this team, unless they do something dramatic, and they might, I don't think this team is a championship team again, and I'm okay with that. The 49ers, Brock Purdy will be making $50 million in 3 years, most likely. Maybe he's making $55 million. Trent's gone. Debo probably gone. Kittle probably gone at 33.
You know
McCaffrey probably gone.
Like, you understand there will be other people who replace them. They don't have to play 7 on 11.
That.
Okay.
I get that.
Okay.
But are you
Like
going to find a tight end who's as good as George Kittle? Are you going to find a running back as good as McCaffrey?
Maybe not. But right now, like, they're sitting there with such this dominant core of players.
Right.
I'm not going to argue that core will somehow likely be lesser than, but I'd also argue that the 49ers 3 years from now will have some studs who are names we don't even know yet.
Perhaps, yeah.
Like, when do they not?
They've been good. They've done a nice job of replacing players who have aged out. And, you go from Willis and Bowman to Warner and Greenlaw. It's pretty damn good. I mean, you've done a nice job.
Think about left tackle.
Right.
We sat there for a year like,
to replace Joe Staley.
What are they going to do about replacing Joe Staley? And then they made a move, and no one's ever brought up Joe Staley ever again.
Yes. I think the safe play is the team that has a core that likely will be here 3 years from now, and that is the Giants. And if it's Ramos and Matos, if it's Webb and Harrison, if it's Doval, and heck, Yaz will probably be ARB 2 by then, and he'll still be here.
You know what I would argue based on the opinion you just shared? You don't really think Brock Purdy's that good.
Brock Purdy's good.
You don't really think he's that good. You think he's okay.
I do think he's good.
I don't think
what
you
does
think he's that
good mean?
Well, I would argue that if you really think that Brock Purdy if you think he's really good, then I would argue that you should be bullish on the next 10 years of 49er football, because that's how it works. If you've got a sustainable, really good top 10 quarterback, then you're a factor every year, one way or another. They're going to put the people around you. Like right now, similar situation to where the Niners might be next year is the Cincinnati Bengals. Right now, T. Higgins is it's teetering. Can he stay? Can they afford him? Franchise tag. Jamar Chase, along with him, did not show up to Bengals OTAs. They've got Mixon is now a Texan. They got to rework all this stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's like, so the Bengals are going to suck next year. Nope. They got Burrow. They're a factor. Period. You're going to find people to put around your quarterback. And the NFL, I would go into every year right now and say, okay, who's a factor? Well, Pat, Josh, Lamar, Joe. Let's add CJ in.
Justin,
Brock, and people think maybe Jordan Love, Stafford. That's it. I just named your Super Bowl champ next year. That's one of them.
One of the 8.
One of them. I did. I said the name of whoever's going to win next year's Super Bowl.
And I wonder,
I don't know which one, but that's
in 3 years, if Brock is going to be in a position to still be one of those guys based on who he has around him.
But there you go. That's my point.
Right.
You think he's still dependent on what's around him as opposed to being the one who makes the team good just by his presence.
Everyone is dependent on those around him except for one guy.
We don't do that with the other guys.
We don't do that with the one guy. Josh Allen is a guy who's had people around him, and he hasn't been able to get it done.
I would argue Justin Herbert has had wonderful people around him and hasn't even won a playoff game.
Exactly.
Yet we stick him on the list still.
Well, we stick him on the list because we all expect him to be as good as we expect him to be. And Brock is good. He's very good. But can he be very good when he has it's Ricky Pearsall and who as his receivers?
I mean,
maybe Ayuk is still there.
Again, I'd argue if you think he's really good, you're not worried about who's around him.
One guy is able to carry a lesser roster and win with him, and that is Patrick Mahomes. And Brock Purdy is not Patrick Mahomes.
No, he's clearly not.
Right.
Obviously, I mean, who's saying that? But again, if you're a great quarterback, all those other guys that I mentioned, nobody is like, well, let's see if we can, have a receiving core. No.
None of them have won a Super Bowl,
If you're a great quarterback, you make your receivers great. Do you really think the Green Bay Packers, wow, great receiving core? They're all babies.
Yeah.
But they looked good last year. I wonder why. Because they had somebody performing at the quarterback position.
Great coaching, great scheme, which is what, that's the one thing that Brock Purdy will have in 3 years. He's still going to have that laminated play sheet and a great head coach, a coordinator, a schemer.
Yeah, no, that's all fair. Okay, Steph Curry autograph jersey.